Hey guys, Sick Can Hear Me Comic here. Alright, this is another edition of your collective style. There's so many things to talk about, so I figured just why don't I just go down the line with something that I am very familiar with and the thing that I went through. So this version is variant collecting. There's a lot of variant. There's incentive variant, there's cover B variant, second print variant, third print, fourth print, error print, all different type of variants out there. But you need to be selective of what you choose, what you want in your collection. So I myself is more of a comic. Sorry, I'm watching this Lost in Space. So my eye could be just going up and forward, and that's the thing that you hear in the background. But anyway, um, variants. I'm more of a cover collector, and sometimes it's a very hit and miss. I can tell you, there's a lot of miss than more than hits. All right, so just I'm just going to show you some random variants that I have in mind, so you just don't keep looking at me instead, just jabbering about things. So if you want to get into variants, just be careful, guys. There is a lot of hits, and not hits. There's a lot of misses, but just make sure that the variants is like alternative cover from a cover A, the first print. So this is a different variation of covers for the same print of for the same issue in a different cover. All right. For instance, like this, Captain Marvel 17. This is a second print variant, but I got this because clearly for the simplicity of the cover. All right. There's not too busy. There's that, Miss Marvel mark in the back, and you have her with a fist. But this is later happens that this is the second cameo appearance of Kamala Khan, but this is the very first appearance on a cover. So this predates the All Marvel. What was that? All Marvel one now, point one, right? So somehow I was lucked out that I picked this up. What? For about $240 something. Now, with a Disney Plus show coming up, so it just somehow it kind of fall all in place. I got this about 3 years ago, so at that time nobody really was carrying. I mean, 9.8. Yeah, it was going for about $600-700, but now it's going for anyway. So you trying to you see where I'm going with this is that not all the time the variant will hit that certain peak, unless there is a significance on it. So I think there is a little it's the egg there, that if there's a significance in that certain variant that you might want to get. All right, like the first appearance, or the second print happens to have that certain character on the cover, or it was just very low printed, so that incentive variants, like let's say a book was printed about what 30,000, all right, but there is a 1 out of 100 variant out there in a certain titles, and nobody really ordered 100 of those copies, but there's also 1 out of 50, 1 out of 25, even that as well. If each it's about 100 something LCS out there, let's just say it, all right. I'm just putting out a number, and out of the 120 LCS, maybe 20 of them happens to order more than 100, but everyone else has ordered maybe 10 or 15 because it's a small operation, and not all of them will. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this, that certain titles in a certain variant, like especially when it comes to incentive variant, it's not really easy to get. And there's some other books that I want to show you. Is that there's some like this Wolverine 184, 145. I'm sorry. This is the Nabisco variant, covered down by Bill Sinkovic. But this happens to be something that you had to order. You have to mail in order to get this. So we don't know what the print run is, but at the same time, we can definitely know that this is a very hard to find because not. I mean, how many people back there in 1999 have sent out, unless you're very, into collecting. But at the time, I was not. So you can say it. Those mail-in can be a hit and miss as well too. Unfortunately, this happens to be a title Wolverine, and not many people has sent out mailers to Nabisco to get this. And it's a very sick cover with Hulk, with Wolverine and Sabretooth in the back, and just that Antimania. I'm butchering this, but anyway, this is the return of Wolverine. Adamantium. Jesus, that's a tongue twister right there. So this is when he gets back his metal claws and things. Ooh, all right, so there's that. So once again, it's a really cool cover, especially in the back, and it's a very sought after. I mean, so if you're new to collecting variants, just don't get all the variants. Don't chase. All right. Let the FOMO. What I talked about in my very first video is that FOMO needs to be out of the system. Just because somebody has it and you don't go out there and start shopping away and paying premium price for it. But at the same time, it could be good, but the percentage of that book hitting that high is very low. So just follow me on this, okay? Like, for instance, Champion #1. When this first came out, I got this for like what, $120, right? Because Champions, I mean, but it's a cool cover by Alex Ross, Miles, Kamala, and Sam Alexander on the cover. I mean, what more can I ask for? And it's a 1 out of 100. At the time when Champions came out, there was all different type of variants out there. 1 out of 25, 110, 1 out of 50, 1 out of 1 out of 200, 1 out of 300. I mean, there was overly. I can say it's been overly published, the book, with all different type of variants, and but it's just that this stood out for me. All right, and for the price for 9.8 back then when I got it, was going for at ratio about. So I said, why not? To get it graded cost 20. To get it pressed, another what, 10, 15. Now it's $20. It's just made for me. I didn't get this for monetary value. I just love this cover of Champions. All right. So another fact that it somewhat took off because it's a beautiful cover. So just be careful, because I can show you all of the variants that I picked up that is merely cost pretty much cover price, maybe at most $10-15, which I have paid. The ratio, if it's 1 out of 25, I pay probably 24-25. 1 out of 50, I pay 35-40. As it goes on, but all of that, it doesn't worth anything. But I like it because of the cover. You see where I'm going with this? So don't do it for the sake of. If you're gonna do it for the sake of investing or flipping, be careful, because that rabbit hole can go real deep, and it probably will cost you a lot of funds, and have to hold on to it very long if you wanted to flip it. All right, another one, Spider-Gwen, 1 out of 25, Bradshaw cover. I love it. Why? Because this homage to my all-time favorite cover, Spider-Man #1. All right, but fortunately, what happened to Spider-Gwen? It appeared on a Sony animated movie, Into the Spider-Verse, and with that, it just somehow it kind of worked out in a way. So I'm just gonna, like I said, the books here is pretty much how it worked out for me. I think the later one of my part 2 will be books that didn't really pan out the way I planned. All right, and you can kind of see the difference of once they make it, once not all variants will that make your like make that hit for you to to flip to make money out of it. Another one is Darth Vader number 3. This is one out of 25. Salvatore La Rocca, first appearance of Dr. Aphra. When I first started collecting, I read Dr. Aphra, and I just thought that it was a pretty cool, like a Han Solo type of mashup with, jeez. So I mean, and she can be dark. If you haven't read Dr. Aphra number 1, the volume 1, go pick it up. It's the way it starts is just pretty much she just kills, all right, without saying anything, because she has to. She's running away from Darth Vader because she had betrayed Darth Vader. But anyway, I don't want to go into that. But another one, I picked this up for what I think it was for like two something. But now she's a canon. And once Disney Plus, or if she does make it into any of the Star Wars movie, action live, I mean this, but just somehow at the time this was not very sought after. All right. Why I like it? I like the fact that it has Darth Vader, and kind of has that homage to Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back. You know, I am your father. Remember when Luke got his hand chopped off and things like that. So there is many books that comes out every week, and there is a lot of incentive variant that comes out every week. 1 out of 25, 1 out of 50. You know, and do your diligent research on the covers that comes out. All right, and look at the titles. If you, for instance, I picked up a copy of Daredevil. Woman Without a Fear. It was a 1 out of 50 Jan Bartel cover. It's a beautiful, beautiful cover. But I kind of was wondering how many people of that LCS is going to be ordering 50. So I kind of did the research. I kind of asked around a lot of people in the community, and they said not many LCS going to be ordering 50 copies. How can I get that? I said, you just have to shop around, and I was very fortunate to get one pre-ordered. So it's good to have a good relationship with your LCS, but at the same time, certain LCS will want you to order 50 of the cover of that book for you in order for you to get it. So it's a touchy subject, but like I said, if you're very diligent, I'm sure you can find it. And the best way to do it is ask around, and I can tell you this, not many people will tell you their secret, because if it is, it's not a secret no more. So sometimes they want to protect their sources, and I'm sorry, something's going on in the show, but anyway, going back again. So once again, be diligent, do your research, jump on it, if you truly believe in it, not because people tell you to do, because if you really believe in getting that book for, let's say, 1 out of 50, okay, Jen Bart, and it comes out, you pay $50 for it, okay, and then next thing you know, a week later, that becomes a $25 book. Yeah, it's a disappointment, but for me, I look at it as a long hold. At the same time, I will be appreciating the art cover of that book. So another one is this right here. One of the best Venom cover by Adi Granov is Amazing Spider-Man 569. This is the variant cover for it. All right, there's a cover A, there's a second print, and there's this. Okay, why I picked this up? One, it's the first appearance of Anti-Venom. At the second, it's a cover, guy. All right, if this became a $25 book, I wouldn't care, because this has a sick Venom cover. So I mean, it's just my thought of the way I collect and why I like variants. Okay, other thing is this here, Invincible Iron Man number 7, cameo appearance of Riri Williams. Why did I get it? It's an ugly cover, but it was really hard to get this. not. I don't know if this was an open order or something, but it was very low ordered. Okay, not many LCS had ordered this. Okay, and at the same time, it's a cameo appearance. Riri Williams. At the time that when I was start collecting Ironheart, Riri Williams was one of the characters that was introduced. So I figured, okay, if I had to pick and choose issue number 7, cover A, or issue number 9, the variant of it, I went with this. It just said, "Face it, Tiger, I'm the one." I mean, it has a pretty much famous phrase with different words. They say, "Let's face it, Tiger, hit the jackpot." So let's face it, Tiger, I'm the boss. So in a way, regardless how ugly this cover is, I kind of like the idea. All right, so that's why I picked it up. I mean, I picked it up for like what, $100 back then. All right, now with Riri Williams being introduced, I mean, like I said, everything has to fall in place. Let me show you this one book that is doesn't really worth anything. All right, but just clearly for the cover itself. Right, Ultimate Spider-Man #1, Dynamic Force.
I'm glad we had this little hard time.
I mean, what can I say? It's the first appearance of Ultimate Spider-Man, at the same time first Ultimate title. At the same time, it's cover done by Joe Quesada. It's a dope ass cover. How much did it cost? If you're lucky, you can probably get it for what, 180, 150. But a lot of people on eBay is asking $300-400. They're not gonna get it. All right. If let's say Tom Holland was introduced as an Ultimate Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe, maybe this might have some significance to it. But it's for me here, it's just clearly just for the cover alone that I wanted to get, and also I had to get certain. I had this cover A. I got the 1 out of 100, so I had to get this. All right. This is one of the one that it was just dawned on me for years. I've been close to about 5 years, and then I finally pulled the trigger. All right, let me show you another one. Like I said, I like cover that has a bit of a simplicity on it. All right, especially when it comes to 2-tone, three-tone type of thing. Daredevil #2, 1 out of 50. Frank Cho. What's the significance? It's not. It's 1 out of 50. Issue number 2, when it first came out in 2014, what about it? I mean, how many people was going to order 50 copies of Daredevil? All right. I mean, story by Mark Waid and Chris Sammy art, Frank Cho cover. Why I like it? It's the simplicity of it. Dark black background, with just red, all right? And the details on it, the way that Frank Cho has done it, is just amazing. I got another Daredevil that just came out recently by Chip Zdarsky. Oh man, there was a Comic Pro, the one with kind of had the Daredevil with the flame going up. It was only 250 was printed, but when I had to get it due to a point where it was only limit. I mean, the cover is badass. I mean, but this, and I can tell you this right now, not many is out there. You can check on eBay. Maybe 1 or 2 might show up. They're asking for 65. But like I said, if you're wanting a high grade, it's really hard because it's the black background. And I was very fortunate. I picked up like about 4 copies. One came back as a 9.6. This was a 9.8. Another one I gave it as an A-OK. There was the other one that I had is a potential 9.8. That I gave it as an A-OK as well. But the book itself, it pretty much has a value that you can't price, because not many people are selling it, and if it does, it probably varies from $30 all the way to $65 to $80. On a 9.8, Who knows? It could be a 300, it could be a 500, or maybe 800. Depending how hard it is to get. All right. And not many people would like to spend about $500 for no significance just because of the black and red cover. But I myself enjoy it. This can be $1,000 book. This can be a $50 book. It doesn't matter to me. It's to a point where I love this cover, and one of the fifth being a one of the 50. Sometimes it could be a little bit hard to get. So be careful of what variants you get. All right, just know that if you're gonna pay a premium for incentive variant, really want to think about why you buying it. Is it for your personal collection? Is it for long hold spec? For you to hopefully that becomes a $200-300 book, or is it for investment? I mean, you really have to think, why am I getting this book? Why do I like it so much? Do I really need that book in my collection? All right. And if you're a variant and a cover collector myself, is very tempting to buy pretty much all the covers out there because everything looks so nice. And being a variant collector and a comic cover collector as myself, sometimes I really have to bite my tongue and kind of hold back, take a step back and say, do I really want that? And I can tell you 80% of the time, I really don't need it. All right, and 20 and the 10% of the time I missed out. But FOMO doesn't really, so I don't go out and chasing it. If the boat has sailed, I let it sail. All right. If it's still to a point, it's still on the dock, is a very affordable for me to attain, and that I feel comfortable dropping $100 on a 9.8 or even raw at that. I need to ask myself maybe a few more times before I put a trigger. And like this for myself, it was a no-brainer. Put my bid in, and there was none higher and I was able to get it for really great price. So I was very, very fortunate. And I was thankful that something like this might not be under everybody's radar, but to me, cameo appearance, first full appearance, doesn't really matter. It's a first appearance of that character. All right, you can go talk about Hulk 180, Hulk 181. Pick and choose what you guys want, especially when it comes to covers. So I mean, that's a sick cover. Damn. But pick and choose your characters. Don't go pretty much everywhere. Stick with something characters that works for you, that you really enjoy. As for me, as you know, I'm a Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Peter Parker. I might not have the AF-15 or the Spider-Man #1, but my heart is, getting there. For me to be spending this type of money for me to get that is probably still not reachable, but it should be fun hobby. All right, but at the same time, it's an investment. Why you investing your time and your money to do the research that what you want to do. So with that, hope this variant section has made somewhat point, and the bottom line is it's not how you collect. All right, it's bottom line is it's how you how would you say it, how he defines the collection towards the end. Okay, you can get about 50 variants, but at the same time, when about 3 months back, go back and take a look at it again to see if you're happy. If you're happy, great, keep doing it once a year. Look through your books. As for me, I can go through my books and I'll be very happy with every single book that I have, but at times life come knocking, and certain things, maybe I might have to let this one go in the future. I don't want to, but I might have to. kind of like this. So there is no significant a black and white answer when it comes to variant, but all I can say is do your diligence on researching and do your studies. Ask around people what they think, and don't let other people fool you, trying to have them sell you for certain things. Like I said, really think 2, 3, 4, 5 times, even 10 times if you need to before you pull that trigger on a book. All right, because they might end up biting in the ass, but maybe you might have done a good thing. Like I said, for me is one book that I really regret not getting is the Ultimate Fallout #4, Marko Dzirkovic, 1 out of 25. I had a chance to get a 9.8 for under 1,000. This was about what 6 years, 5 years ago. I didn't pull the trigger. I end up just getting the 9.6. I figured I don't want to spend $1,000 on a book, so I end up spending a fraction of that. And look where it is at right now, right? Who knew? But hey, it's just part of the game, all right? It's part of the hobby. It's part of collecting. As you get more into it, you get smarter. You know what books that works for you, not for the others. For you to have a great selection of variant covers in your collection. All right. So I hope this makes sense. But hey, look, I got this. All right, guys. With that said, aloha, mahalos, and till next segment, till you guys. See you next time. All right, aloha. Shoot.